Good morning, love streamers. We are ready for another beautiful Sunday, and I'm excited because I've got the one and only Travis Hogue next to me today.
Woo!
And Reverend Elizabeth's going to be up in a few minutes, and today we're talking about Pushed by Pain, today, June 6th. And at this point, I just love to let the musician take us in and set the vibe. So,
All right.
thank you, Travis.
Well, I'm so excited to be here. All right. We're going to do some love songs this morning. This is a love song that I wrote to Spirit. It's called And the Moment Came. I took a breath of fresh mountain, sitting in a field of blue. Kissed my soul's eye, and the moment came. All dressed in white in the morning light, pirate pursuit. And I said hello to you, and the moment came. That's right, I said hello to Spirit. Tears ran down my cheeks and glowing rainbow streaks. Your touch so gentle, so kind, lifted my heart and mind, and the moment came. Now I see what's true, looking through the eyes of you. Only love, just love, and the moment came. Tears ran down my cheeks and glowing rainbow streaks. Your touch so gentle, so kind, lifted my heart and mind, and the moment came. Here it is. Right here. Now I see what's true, looking through the eyes of you. Only love, just love, and the moment came. And the moment came.
Oh, so beautiful. Thank you, Travis. All right. Yay. Oh my gosh, it's so wonderful to have Travis as our musician this morning, isn't it? Woo! Hello, friends. I'm Reverend Elizabeth Rowley-Hogue, and I am the spiritual director and senior minister at the Central Coast Center for Spiritual Living. And it is my honor to welcome you this morning to the Central Coast Center for Spiritual Living, where all that we ask is that you remain open to the possibility of changing your entire life by changing your mind. This service has been designed especially for you. Welcome home. We have an affirmation that will be placed on the screen here, and I invite you to please repeat after me. I live in a progressive universe.
I live in a progressive universe.
I transform pain into the fertilizer that grows my good.
I transform pain into the fertilizer that grows my good.
My good is my God's highest idea of itself as my life now.
My good is my God's highest idea of itself as my life right now.
And so it is.
And so it is.
Woohoo! All right.
All right. So now I get to introduce Travis today, which is pretty exciting. It's so awesome to have you back, Travis, in the musician seat. And so I'm going to read your bio, and it's really fun to read Travis's bio here. So for the last 2.5 years, Travis Hogue has been raising the vibe as the music director for the Central Coast Center for Spiritual Living in Templeton, California, with Reverend Elizabeth Rowley-Hogue, spiritual director. Previously, Travis was the primary musician for the Conscious Living Center in Mountain View with Reverend Jane Beach for 6 years, where he provided weekly music for a medium-sized congregation to uplift, heal, and transform. And Travis has released 3 meditation CDs and is working on releasing another later in 2021. Travis finds inspiration from his connection with spirit as people, the ocean, the trees, and the beautiful nature around him. He plays from the resonance of the feeling tone from the deepest part of his soul.
Aw.
And a couple of fun facts.
Uh-oh.
Here we go, Travis. Travis really likes coffee,
Yeah.
studying ancient history, playing chess, and architecture. I did not know about the architecture part, Travis. We're going to have some fun conversation about that.
Sure. Yeah. Look
And
forward to that.
Travis's favorite color, blue on black.
That's
And
right.
I loved that too. I'm like, I think that might be one of my favorite. Blue's my favorite, but I think blue on black's the best.
Yeah.
And your
Cool.
favorite food, pizza. So we
Aye.
can go have a pizza party with Travis
I would
sometime.
love that. Yeah.
So without further ado, it is my pleasure to introduce our musician and musical inspiration for today, Travis Hogue.
Thank you, Gina. Oh, that was fun. All right. So we are playing love songs today. And this is a great chant that was introduced to us by the beautiful Amy Steinberg. And it's real simple, and I love it. This is a great one. I've been singing it ever since. It goes like this. I am opening up in sweet surrender to the luminous love light of the one. I am opening up in sweet surrender to the luminous love light of the one. I am opening. I am opening. I am opening. I am opening. All right. If you would be so bold as sing this with me wherever you are, even silent or shout it out or whatever. It's pretty easy. It goes like this. I am opening up in sweet surrender to the luminous love light of the one. I'm opening up in sweet surrender to the luminous love light of the one. One more time. One more time with that one. Sing it with me. I am opening up in sweet surrender to the luminous love light of the one. I am opening up in sweet surrender to the luminous love light of the one. I am opening. I am opening. I am opening. I am opening. I can just hear you guys singing this. This is great. I am opening up in sweet surrender to the luminous love light of the one. I am opening up in sweet surrender to the luminous love light of the one. I am opening. I am opening. I am opening. I am opening. Yeah. That is it. I am opening.
Good morning, CSL. There's a little confusion back here, I think. Gina's trying to direct the flow so she can get the announcements up on the screen for me. Oh, it's good to be back. Good morning, everybody. I am your announcements angel for today, and we are going to try something a little different today. We are shortening our announcements. So I would like to start off by welcoming everybody with me and wishing everybody a happy Pride Month. Yes.
Yes,
Happy
happy
Pride.
Pride.
Woohoo!
Oh, and we do need to bring Travis in for
Oh,
one little
yes.
thing here.
Yes, we
Happy
need to
birthdays.
bring Travis
Happy
in for birthdays.
Oh, yeah, it's birthdays.
Birthday month. Yeah.
All right, everybody with a
So-
birthday in June, raise their hands.
I know of one special birthday out there in June. My best friend, who I'm sure is watching. Happy birthday, my dear friend. You know who you are.
Woo!
Okay.
All right.
So, happy
We're gonna-
birthday.
We're going to sing some happy birthday. So, happy birthday to you. June birthdays. Happy birthday to you. June birthdays. Happy birthday, happy birthday, happy birthday to you. Oh, wait a minute. Happy Pride Month. Happy Pride Month to you. Happy Pride Month to you. Happy Pride Month to you and everybody. Happy Pride Month to you.
Yay, Travis. Thank you so much for that. So I'd like to remind everybody that there is coffee and conversation after service at 11 a.m.-ish via Zoom. And the link is going to be in the comments section. Okay, next Sunday, we have, spiritual community. We have connection calls with our spiritual community on Wednesdays at 1 p.m. Next Sunday, we have the amazing Karen Drucker returning to provide us our music and our message. All right. I know you've all been waiting for this. We are having our grand reopening at the center with a hybrid, which is in-person and online service on July 11th. We will also be streaming to Facebook and YouTube from the center at 10 a.m. Pacific Daylight Time. So more details are coming soon, and so you can start marking your calendars, and we will have more info in e-news as well. We also have a reopening committee meeting this Tuesday, June 8th. So if you're interested in being on that committee, contact Gina DiGirolamo for details. And I'm sure she's going to post her contact information in a link below. God is, I Am class, which is being facilitated by Reverend Elizabeth, begins on June 22nd. It's an 8-week course, and you can register on our website. We still have 3 spots available for this class, so contact Reverend Elizabeth for more information. And just a reminder that 2021 is the year of our 45th anniversary. So every first Sunday of the month, we invite those viewing to contribute $45, which is $1 for each year of our existence. So please consider making a donation to support the vision of our center. All right. Thanks, everyone, for letting me be your announcements angel today.
Beautiful. Thank you so much, Gina. BJ. I was like BJ, and then I saw Gina in the little screen there. BJ, we love you. Okay, friends, I would like to remind you now, if there is something that is heavy on your heart for which you would like prayer for, or maybe you're looking to manifest something new in your life, we invite you to please send your prayer requests to us at info@cccsl.org, and our wonderful prayer team will pray over these prayers over the next week for you. And now I would love to turn it over to Charlie Carlin for our Science of Mind reading today.
Good morning and welcome to the House of Perfection. You live in the house of God. The household of God is a household of perfection. It is the secret place of the Most High, within you and within all people. The inhabitants of this household are all divine. They will become as divine to you as you permit. As you perceive them, that is how they perceive you, for this is the way of life. Everything responds to you at the level of your recognition of it. In the household of God, there is no jealousy, no littleness, no meanness. It is a household of joy, a place of happiness and contentment. Here is warmth, color, and beauty. Seen in this light, Your earthly house symbolizes the kingdom of divine harmony in which no one is a stranger. Say this: nothing is alien to me. Nothing enters into my experience but joy, integrity, and friendship. The good I would realize for myself, I realize for all others. I cannot desire a good for myself other than the good I desire for everyone else. Neither do I deny myself the good I affirm for others. I know that in this household in which I live, the host is God, the Almighty Spirit. The guests are all people. The invitation has been eternally written for all to enter and dwell therein as guests of the eternal host forever. And so it is.
And so it is. Thank you so much for that reading, Charlie. That was awesome. So I just invite you to turn within now as I do our opening prayer for us. So let's just take a deep breath and just let go and just tap into that center, that area that we feel in our body where we are connected to the divine source. And I know that that source is all there is. It is God. It is the universe. It is the creator. It is the life force. It is energy, whatever you want to call it. It is that thing where you feel connected to that one supreme entity that is the thing itself. And we are united with it. We are the earthly host that Charlie spoke of. God is in, as, and through us, just as it is in, as, and through every living thing on this planet. And it is in and as and through every non-living thing on this planet. It is all part of the creative process that birthed us into existence. It is those thoughts and ideas that come forth that are created and manifested. It is the divine that works in, as, and through us, where we feel connected to the whole. And so I know that this service is divinely guided. I know that Reverend Elizabeth's words today reach out and touch us someplace maybe that we have not been touched before, where we have that slight awakening and opening to the rebirth of the divine nature that is truly ours by our birthright. And just as we have already witnessed Travis's beautiful melodies and music and words that he has spoken this morning, they are the words of God that have come through him, through the creative process of the writer and the author, whether it be Travis or somebody else. It's that divine creative process of those individuals speaking the I am that they are. And in Charlie's reading today, those words that touched us so deeply. We are the divine hosts of nature itself that we connect with and we embody and we embrace and we in turn give love. For it truly is all about love. Loving ourselves, loving one another, and loving that divine nature and that connection with spirit. And so I just invite you today and tomorrow and the next day to go out into nature to feel and see that creative process that is continuing to unfold over and over and over with each passing moment. Something new is waiting to be birthed into existence. What in you is waiting to be birthed into existence? And so I am just so grateful for this knowledge and this teaching and this way of life. And I am so grateful for each and every one of you that is here today, or maybe watching this later, that finds that connection and that oneness through this message today. And so with this, I know this prayer is already complete, and there's nothing I have left to do but to release it into that loving and expression action of the law, where I know that it's already done. It's already being made manifest right now. And I just invite you to anchor this truth with me by saying, and so it is.
That was beautiful. Thank you so much, BJ. All right, lovelies. This next song is from Jason Gray, the beautiful Jason Gray. The song's called "The Wound is Where the Light Gets In." All right, I'm going to tell you a story here. I was halfway up the mountain when the rocks I held gave way. I came tumbling like an avalanche to the bottom where I lay. Now with the taste of blood and twist of bone, my healing could begin. 'Cause the wound is where the light, the wound is where the light, the wound is where the light gets in. I've stood here like a hostage with a knife held to my vein, captive to the poison that I took to numb the pain. 'Cause everybody wishes they were born with thicker skin. The wound is where the light, the wound is where the light, the wound is where the light gets in. It's tricky how the heart works when the breakups and the big jerks make us never want to hurt that way again. Maybe I'm naive, but in every scar I see a place where love is trying to break in. 'Cause the wound is where the light gets in. You can recognize a saint by the scars they don't disguise. You can pick out a real sinner by the kindness in their eyes. So if you're stumbling in the dark and bleeding at the shin, just remember, the wound is where the light, the wound is where the light, the wound is where the light gets in. Oh yeah. The wound is where the light, the wound is where the light, the wound is where the light gets in.
Oh, Travis. Thank you so much, honey. Love you.
Love you.
That's my husband, you guys. Don't get any funny ideas, ladies. Hello, are you feeling that? Oh my gosh. From the prayer to the music and Travis's presence, BJ's presence, and Charlie and Gina, we have so much love for you here today, my friends. Thank you for joining us. For those of you just tuning in, I'm Reverend Elizabeth Rowley-Hogue, and I'm the spiritual director and senior minister at the Central Coast Center for Spiritual Living, located in Templeton, California. And we are broadcasting to you live this morning from our condo in San Luis Obispo. Welcome. I'm so glad you're here. And, you know, Rumi famously said the wound is where the light gets in. That is the very awareness of your pain is your opportunity to let the light in. And it was Jane Austen who said, "We do not suffer by accident." Freud believed that out of your vulnerabilities will come your strength. Annis Nin came up with a beautiful image, which I love, that says, "And the day came when the risk to remain tight in a bud was more painful than the risk it took to blossom. Oh, yes. And so what comes to mind, even just when I say those words of Ernest Nin, the day came when the risk to remain tight in a bud was more painful than the risk it took to blossom. I'm thinking of this month being Pride Month and sending so much love out to the individuals who are frightened and in great terror and struggling emotionally with who they are. And I want you all to know that we love you so much and that God loves you exactly as you are. It wouldn't change one thing about you. And so here we are standing like God's cheerleaders ourselves, right? Saying, you can do this. You can do this. There's so much love. And so happy Pride Month, my friends. I'm lifting our LGBT QI2 or QI plus up this month, and our center is lifting you up. We love you so much. Now, religious science practitioner Tracy Brown says that pain is the perfect fertilizer. She encourages us to consider that our life actually goes through seasons, just like a garden goes through the seasons. And if we were to let pain be the fertilizer, because that's really what it is, pain is the fertilizer that is used to prepare the grass, the flowers, and the trees to grow. If we could look at it in that respect, we may be less inclined to resist it and to try to spiritual bypass or whatever it is, right? Let us allow ourselves to look at the pain as the fertilizer that is growing us. And so fertilizers, as you may or may not know, work by providing essential nutrients that are required for a strong, healthy plant. When faced with pain, rather than resist it, Tracy Brown invites us to consider the question, how is your pain providing an essential ingredient required for your development? And the second question is, what is this pain guiding you to release or enhance or substitute in order to achieve the dynamic, meaningful, and fulfilling life that you desire? If you think of pain as preparing the soil of your life to represent your deepest soul purpose, then that really opens you up to the radiant divine light. Let that light in and let that light shine out to all. What a beautiful thing. Oh, and thank you, Travis. The wound is where the light gets in. The wound is where the light gets in. Sometimes we get so caught up in the wound and the pain of that wound and how it shouldn't have happened and woe is me and this and that, when if we could stop with that and look at that pain and kind of look for the light, right? The light is coming in. And so look for that light. Now, I've experienced this in the recent months, right, with my father leaving his physical body behind, Donald Bruce Rowley Sr. on March 18th. He left his body that was no longer serving him. And so, there's grief, right? We go through this process of grieving our losses. And at the same time, I was consistently looking for beauty. I was looking for signs of the infinite. I was seeking out this changeless, this infinite presence of love and light that I know is in and through all of creation, that I knew the soul of Donald Raleigh went back to, right? And so finding that beauty and seeking that beauty everywhere opened my heart up to it. And so I am open. And then that other song, Travis, I am opening up in sweet surrender. That is just so hard. I got the God bumps, because the heart is just so open. And so, so if we can think of the pain that we're experiencing as the preparation of the soil within us to grow, then we can really get present and in the moment and allow ourselves to be available to this divine and loving light. Are you with me? Oh. Now, Reverend Dr. Michael Bernard Beckwith, who created the life visioning process, says that we are pushed by pain until we are pulled by a larger vision. Now, he says that people grow into their purpose in two ways, by crisis or by insight. When you're backed up against the wall in a crisis, you might begin to ask different questions like, why am I here? What am I doing this for? What's the reason? And why do I keep doing the same thing over and over? Have you ever been there? It's like, why does this keep repeating in my life, you know? And then you start to open up to something bigger, something greater that has your name on it, that's calling you to be more than you have been. It's calling you forward. It's calling you up. It's calling you to step out of that comfort zone and to step into your radiant magnificence. Now, sometimes people grow through an insight they've had. They get inspired, they've read something or something happens in their life, and they're able to see an opening, and they're able to see that, wow, something is happening. My life is more than what I thought it was. I'm going to follow these spiritual breadcrumbs for the greater unfoldment of my divine destiny because I see it. And then you take that first step, and then you take the next step, and then you take the next step, right? And things just open up and continuously open up because now you are being pulled by a vision. Now, sometimes we get an insight and we refuse to be pulled by it. Can anyone relate to that? There's this thing that is here, and it's like we're so called to do and be or become, and instead we sort of shut our door on it and are like, I've got other things to do right now. But don't worry, because the universe will keep on knocking. Knock, knock, knock. It will come back. And at some point you will be ready. And prayerfully, you will not need to experience the push to such a degree that it causes so much pain that you get hit by the spiritual 2x4. So many people experience that. And then I've heard some folks say, well, what if I am neither pushed by pain nor pulled by vision, and I'm just sort of in this comfortable stage, and I like it here, and I'm safe, and I'm not growing? The thing to remember is that you will be pushed by pain if you don't get an insight. The pain will push you into becoming your greater yet to be, because that is the nature of this life. We are growing and evolving, right? While we're living, we are expanding and becoming, and everything is constantly transforming. We live in a progressive universe. And so the universe will continue to knock on our doors, and gently, very gently and loving at first, it comes in as this divine idea like, oh, what if I were to move here? Or what if this, XYZ? And you listen and didn't pay attention, spiritual 2x4. So we're called to listen, my friends. Listen to those divine ideas that are being dropped into your mind. Listen. There's a great gospel song that says, hush, hush, somebody's calling my name. Hush, hush, somebody's calling my name. Oh, that's such a beautiful, deep song. It's sung in this deep, deep voice. And that is spirit calling your name to become, to evolve, to grow, to listen and act on your internal guidance. And so if we think of it this way, my friends, the universe is the outpicturing of the intelligence of the presence, is progressive. The universe is progressive. And so we're here on planet Earth, and the Earth is circling the sun, and the sun is moving through its solar system, which, by the way, there are 3,200 other stars with planets in orbit that we currently know of in this galaxy. And then there are 2 trillion other galaxies, and every heavenly body out there has this rotation, and the rotation is happening. And every time there is a complete rotation, the frequency of those heavenly bodies goes a little bit higher. And so the Earth is vibrating now at a higher frequency than it was 10 years ago. So everything is progressing and progressing and progressing. We're moving forward, right? Now, if you're the same person you were 365 days ago, you're not really the same person. You've actually gone backwards because everything else has gone forward. Since everything is progressive, something to consider is that it's creating this level of tension within you to create a level of discomfort and pain for you to grow, and become who you are called here to be. So that blah or that meh feeling, or that, oh, I'm just comfortable in my little happy little box, eventually that becomes a mess, because it will eventually turn into pain if you're not paying attention to your insights and awarenesses. And that's when you end up saying, that's it. Enough. Enough is enough. You might think, well, I've got to end this relationship. I've got to get out of this marriage. I've got to lose that weight. I've got to stop the drinking. I've got to stop the drugging. I've got to stop overeating or judging, overanalyzing, complaining about everything, being lazy, procrastinating, or whatever it is for you. Everyone has something that they will do well to end today so that they might become who they came here to be. If you don't take the actions, if you don't take the steps, your body temple will betray you, or your emotional body will betray you. You know what that means. So something will happen that will make you say, oh, what's going on here? Wait a minute. This is weird. Something weird is happening. Something weird is happening as me right now. This is odd. And then you remember, wait a minute, something wonderful is happening as me. I better read a book. I better be still. I better take a class. I better go talk to somebody. It's time for action. And the time for action is here. Now is the time, my friends. Now, ego on an unconscious level doesn't know the difference between transformation and annihilation. So the inherent nature of the ego is to resist change. It doesn't want to change because it thinks it's going to die. We can rest assured, tell our egos that the ego is healing and transformation is wonderful. Transformation is magnificent. It's not scary. There is something wonderful that wants to happen through me, in me, as my life. I'm here for this finite amount of time. And so I'm called to live. I'm called to shine. I'm called to radiate my good to all, especially to myself, right? Life is progressive. The universe is progressive, and it's pushing us. It will push us until we get pulled by a larger vision. Now, once you have a vision you can articulate, you start to be pulled by that vision. We're going to talk more about being pulled by our vision in July. But just to be clear today, once we have a vision we can articulate, we start to get pulled by it. And now even that little tidbit of a beginning, right? You take a step. You take that first step of being pulled by the vision. You may not know what the rest of the vision entails, but in that one step could open up the whole entire thing, right? But what happens for many is they don't want to just take that first step because they want to know how it's all going to be played out. They want to have the universe give them the whole play-by-play instruction book. Well, it doesn't work that way because it just doesn't, right? And so instead of wanting to know that play-by-play, how's it going to work out, all of the details of it, this is when we practice our faith, our trust, and know that there is something within us that knows the answer. Because just like the seed that is planted in the ground has inherent within it, it is inherent nature to sprout above. It has the technology, it has the divine instruction book, the blueprint to become whatever plant it is, tomato, whatever, a tree or a flower or a bush. And so our pain will get more and more severe until we have a vision that's bigger than the pain. And it becomes harder and harder to stay where we are. Now, the thing to remember is our potential is always bigger than whatever problem that we are going through. It's always bigger than any problem we go through. Now, when you begin to have a vision about possibility, you start to get pulled by it. It's like you're just pulled by it now, and you embrace it, and your life begins to be like, okay, now I'm walking in this direction. I'm taking my first step, and now I'm taking another step. And look at me, I've taken 2 steps, and things are starting to open up. I'm being called and guided, who to call, who to talk to, where to show up, what to write about, things like that, right? So you're taking these steps and you continue to walk in the direction of what's possible. You walk in that direction of your infinite potentiality instead of falling into that, woe is me. Oh, I can't believe this happened. Now we're not pushed. We're pulled by a vision. Are you with me? We begin to get pulled by that vision. We have seen something. We have seen a glimpse of a thing, and we are feeling it, and it's calling us and pulling us forward. And we are being drawn into our joy, our greater yet to be. Now, do challenges still occur? Yeah, challenges still occur. But even in those challenges, what's happening is the challenges are there to activate the latent potential within you to be all that you came here to be. Oh, I love it. So I'm just so passionate about this, you guys, because of my experience with the divine and my experience of being pulled by vision, So I'm going to take it back to San Jose. I was living in San Jose, for those of you who don't know, and the Bay Area, let's just call it that, okay? So I was struggling to make ends meet. I had started a new center for spiritual living in Benicia, and I was living in Benicia, and it was great. And then they put this like hair salon into the place below my place, and then I started to have like all the smells of the perms, and it was like, okay, all right, spirit, it's time for me to get out of here. And so I packed up and moved to Campbell. But the problem with that was then now I was in Campbell and I was commuting to Benicia, which is like an hour, and there's a bridge, a toll bridge, at least one. And then I was also working in San Jose for Dr. David Bruner at his center, and that was super fun. So I had a contract job there. I had another contract job in Oakland. And so I'm living in Campbell and commuting to Benicia, Oakland, San Jose, not too far from Campbell, but it's like all over California, it felt like. So I'm driving all over the place, working really hard to make ends meet. And I'm not feeling the joy, the joy. It's like, I'm not feeling the joy here. I'm driving around too much. I felt like a hamster on a wheel, just trying to make ends meet because none of these jobs were offering me a livable wage in and of themselves. So I had a bunch of different positions. I was irritated. I was annoyed. I wasn't feeling the joy. I was exhausted and I was in pain, right? And I remember I had also dreamed at some point of becoming a staff minister at the center in San Jose, and that wasn't happening. And I later discovered that wasn't happening because that wasn't for me. It wasn't my thing. And so have you ever thought you really wanted something and you had your mind set on that one thing, and it turned out that you learned that your soul didn't want that at all? And that's okay too, right? So I'm stressed, I'm tired, I'm in pain. I go on this family trip with my mom, my dad, and my brother, and we travel to Hawaii. And oh, it's so great. I love Hawaii. And so we're relaxing, having a good time. I'm still feeling that pain that I've been feeling, but it feels good to be unwinding and in the sunshine with my SPF, of course, and my hat, an umbrella, laying out and enjoying the warm weather and just beautiful family time. And suddenly I decide to check my email on my phone. Why? I have no idea. But it's all divinely guided, right? So I pick up my phone and I check my email, and I read this message. And this email message had come through that seemed like it was filled with anger and negative energy and these horrible words that I never imagined possible coming from some other person in leadership. And it was like, this is not cool. That didn't resonate with me at all. It was like a complete and total blah, it's like, no. So that was it. In that moment, something happened. And it was like, yeah, I'm done. That one little thing was the straw to break the camel's back. And it was, I'm done. It's over. Finished. No more. Goodbye. And so I talked to my mom and dad and my brother, and suddenly there was a solution. The light appeared. I started to get pulled by a vision. I had a place to move. I was going to be moving to Grover Beach, where I would live with my parents and stay in their guest bedroom. I mean, what could possibly be greater than that, right? And so I had 6 months off, no work, no nothing. I went for beach walks. I hiked ridiculous miles and miles of hiking, and it was beautiful and perfect. I walked the beach at least once a day, and I connected with the ocean and let that healing energy soothe me. And I just revitalized my spirit. I recharged my body, and it felt so good. I got to spend this quality 6 months with my mom and my dad. I didn't know what was going to happen this year, but how cool that I heard that calling and I took action on it, right? And so that is so beautiful. And then as I was preparing to move, something in me wanted me to contact Travis, who is now my husband. And so I did, and I was contacting him because we had dated at one point, and I really had a strong, loving connection with this man. And for whatever reasons, we went our separate ways when we had dated back in 2010, I think it was. No, 2005. Anyway, something like that, long time ago. And so this is 2015, right? And so I reach out to him, we connect, and we meet up for a meal. And there's something there. There's some kind of a spark still there, right? There is this spark. And so we start talking, and I was just calling him to say goodbye because I had that connection with him. And I thought, well, I'm probably not going to see him ever again. And that was that, right? So I again followed that inner guidance. I followed that nudge from spirit. So eventually, I was leaving, and I thought I wasn't going to see him, but of course that spark was still there. So I moved in, I think it was October. I moved on Halloween of 2015 to Grover Beach, and we stayed connected, and we had a long distance relationship for several months. And I was still enjoying my time off, and he came to visit, and I took him out for beach walks. And of course, he fell in love with all of it as well. And so we really connected. And then he decided to move here, and we chose to start a life together and build our life out here on the Central Coast. I got a job about 6 months later, and then I got another job later. And then I went to the CSL gathering in Irvine in 2018. That's where I met Reverend Diane, by the way. Hi, Rev, if you're watching. And I met on the way back. Well, I had this experience at this gathering. There were a few people mentioning, you should check out the center in Templeton. You should check out the center in Templeton. And I brushed it off, was like, oh, it's so far. and I was like, yeah, maybe. And 3 people said it. And then I'm at the airport and I am waiting. And you know how they have the screens like the TVs at the gate and it has your flight info on it. Well, I'm sitting there and suddenly my flight disappears. And I think, oh no, I heard that it got pushed out, but maybe it changed gates. And so I better check to see if we changed gates, because I was like scrolling through Facebook, of course, or checking email or something. And so there's a lady over at the phone charging station, and I walk over to this lady and we start talking, and there's some small talk occurring, and I say, oh, where are you traveling to? And she was going to Paso Robles, and I thought, well, what is she going to do in Paso Robles? There's wineries, and what else is there to do in Paso Robles, right? And she said, oh yeah, my friend owns a spa there, and then she and I are going to go and watch this movie called Heal. And I had just seen that in my Facebook feed, that the movie Heal was being shown at, guess where? The Central Coast Center for Spiritual Living in Templeton. I was like, ding, ding, ding. Okay, Spirit, ding, ding, ding. I will go, and I will go this Sunday. I think that was a Friday. I will go this Sunday and check it out. Came home and told Travis. It's like, okay. And I contacted the minister at the time, Reverend Levon, and Dr. Don, and Reverend Levon said, oh, well, I'm out here doing some acting gig in wherever she was. And you should call Dr. Don. He might want to put you into service. And sure enough, I reached out to him, and they had me do the opening prayer that day. And then as I was leaving, I said, hey, if you ever want to have a speaker, if you're ever looking for a guest speaker, I'm available. And he said, well, what are you doing next Sunday? And I was like, well, I guess I'm speaking here. Ding, 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 right? It's like following those spiritual breadcrumbs, And I came and did my message, and I went out to lunch with our community, and we had a great time. And it was so filled with love, and I felt so connected, and I still do, and I love that. And then I became the spiritual director of the center on April 1st of 2018, and I started writing a weekly column for 2 newspapers at that same time. And I have been feeling the call to write a book now for at least 2 years. And in February 2019, Travis and I got engaged. In February 2020, I passed my ordination panel. In August of last year, we got married, Travis and I. And now here we are, all because I took that one step, you guys, pulled by vision, right? Pulled by vision. And so whatever it is that is holding you back, the invitation is for you to consider that kind of opening, right? Now, maybe it doesn't include all of the same exact things, like, your romantic relationship, a new job, and your spiritual community. But gosh, I'll take all that stuff, right? Maybe it does include all that. Whatever it is for you, maybe you already have all those things. I invite you to consider that it will be an opening. You take that first step, and you are pulled by vision. You take your first step, and then it opens up. Things fall into place because of the divine right order of the universe, So here we are. Magnificent good continues to unfold in my life, in the life of the Central Coast Center for Spiritual Living, in the life of Travis and I, and in the life of all of us, right? I'm called to write a book. I have been asked to submit writing samples to the Science and Mind magazine for a potential monthly column and daily devotionals. How cool is that, right? So The point of all that is I had to step out of the comfort of where I was. The pain was getting more and more uncomfortable. And it was time, as Ernest Holmes said, to blossom. So, my friends, it's time to blossom, is it not? It's time to blossom. Remember, pain, Tracy Brown wants us to remember this, that pain is not a punishment. That's powerful. Oftentimes when things happen and we feel pain, we feel like we're being punished. You are not being punished. Please know that, my friends. It's not that you have done something wrong. If you are experiencing something painful, it's not because you have done something wrong. There is nothing wrong here. Perhaps you simply set your clear intention and have identified a deep desire to change. Therefore, anything not in alignment with you and with your best and highest good is coming forward to be replaced. You're here to release that which no longer serves you. We can recognize how today's painful experience is helping us move away from something out of alignment with our deepest desires. Identify how this pain is pushing you toward what you really want. It will continue to push and push. And so it's time. It's time to stop being pushed by pain, but pulled by your vision. It's time to get rid of anything that is the barrier to you living your best life. Your journey through this pain is your pathway to joy. Keep on walking, my friends. And so none of us enjoys painful experiences, but instead of avoiding pain, ignoring pain, or pretending that pain doesn't exist, let's accept it, reframe it, accept and reframe it in a positive way. What has this pain come to teach me? In what area of my life am I clinging to the past or to my comfort zone? Why do I continue to play small when I have come to shine, shine, shine? What is the divine vision that is pulling me forward? It's literally pulling me forward. What is it? What is calling you forward? The risk to remain tight in a bud is now more painful than the risk it will take to blossom. Repeat after me. I am ready. Again, I am ready. I am ready.
I am ready.
Let's do this.
Let's do this.
Friends, remember that new beginnings are often disguised as painful endings. Let's pray. So turning our attention inward once again, we return to that beautiful, expansive space within. And this is the space where I know and remember that God is all that there is. It's all that there ever was, and it's all that there ever will be. And I'm so grateful in this moment to be connected to this source of all of life. And as I connect to it, I remember that it is the same divine intelligence that causes this planet to spin, and it causes the planet to be moving through the galaxy, and it causes the entire solar system within the galaxy to be spinning, and then the galaxy is spinning along with other galaxies in the multiverse, and there is so much going on. We are evolving and growing, and I know that this divine intelligence within us that also is responsible for all of that can surely guide and direct us each in our paths so that we are pulled by our visions, pulled by insight, pulled by the awareness of the God ideas that are being dropped into our minds, so that we do not need to be pushed by pain. Maybe we experience a little pain, but that's all that it takes for each one of us. I know that in this moment, something has shifted, that something within you has transformed, that whatever it was before that was causing you to experience fear or hesitation or doubt or worry is released right now back into the nothingness from whence it came. And you and I and all of us stand in the light of love, opening up to sweet surrender, to the luminous love light of the One. We are each opening up in sweet surrender to the luminous love light of the One. And it is pulling us, my friends. It is pulling us to do and be and have all that we came here to do and be and have. And so I am a yes. And I know that each one of us is a yes. And we are able to find the strength and courage within us to transform that pain into the fertilizer for our growth. And I see a spiral upward, and it is the spiral of energy for each of us. Transformation, liberation, freedom, wholeness, connection, bliss, prosperity, love, joy, in my element, in the zone, in the flow, in my good, in gratitude. I give thanks. Oh, we are so blessed. So I am very grateful for these blessings. I'm very grateful for everything that we experience in our lives right here, right now, everything that we have seen up until now, which are artifacts of our past. And I know that in that knowingness, we are open to the blessings on their way. We are open to the blessings on their way in this moment right now, because there is something new always happening as me, as you right now. Something new, something wonderful. And I am grateful and so thankful, Spirit, as I release this prayer out into that loving, not out to that loving, but into the loving and creative action of the law. For I know it is done and returns manifested abundantly, because that's the way Spirit works. Please help me anchor this truth by saying with me, and so it is.
And so it is. Oh my gosh. What a great message. Man, what a great morning. I'm so grateful right now. Man, I'm grateful for all the love and the comments. Oh man. I'm grateful for all these love songs. I'm grateful for you and you and you. I'm grateful to Harold Payne for writing this song right here. Something wonderful is happening to me right here, right now. Something wonderful is happening to me right here, right now. I can feel it in my body, I can feel it in my soul, I can feel it in my heart, and it won't let go. Something wonderful, can you feel it? Something wonderful is happening to me right here, right now. Something wonderful is happening to me right here, right now. I can feel it in my body, I can feel it in my soul, I can feel it in my heart, and it won't let go. Something wonderful is happening to me right here, right now. All this love inside, we can't let it shine. Whoa, something wonderful Something wonderful is happening to me right here, right now. Something wonderful is happening to me right here, right now. I can feel it in my body, I can feel it in my soul, I can feel it in my heart, and it won't let go. Something wonderful, that's you. Something wonderful is happening to me right here, right now. Something wonderful is happening to me right here, right now. Something wonderful.
Woo! Did you get up and dance, beloveds? Oh my goodness. Oh wow. Something wonderful is happening. Thank you, Travis. You are so amazing. We love you so much. Friends, if this service has inspired you in any way, please consider making a donation to our center, as our center is fully funded by we are sourced, fueled, and funded by the divine, and we appreciate your financial contributions that help us keep our center running. So thank you for considering that donation. There's a PayPal going across the banner here at the bottom, and then we also have Facebook giving, which there should be a button right in the Facebook stream here. And so we do have an offering affirmation, and I invite you to please repeat after me. From the love of pure spirit within me, I bless this gift. I send it forth to heal and bless and prosper.
I send it forth to heal and bless and prosper.
It is evidence of my faith and my belief.
It is evidence of my faith and my belief.
It does great work in the world.
It does great work in the world.
And returns to me multiplied abundantly.
And returns to me multiplied abundantly.
And so it is.
And so it is.
Woohoo! All right, I'm just finishing up my donation here. Done. So convenient. All right, friends. I want you to know with me that you are never alone. That God is where you are right now and always. And all that we ever need to do is turn within. And it is here we will find we are guided, sustained, directed, and inspired by a source that knows only good. Joyously let us make use of these gifts in all that we think, in all that we say, and in all that we do. Please repeat after me. Something wonderful is happening as me right now.
Something wonderful is happening as us right here, right now.
It is this thing called life.
It is this thing called life.
Life is in my mind.
Life is in
Life's
my
in my
mind.
mind.
Life is in my body.
Life is in my body.
Life is in my pocketbook.
Life is in my pocketbook.
Life is in my relationships.
Life is in my relationships.
Life is everywhere.
Life is everywhere.
I think it.
I think it.
I feel it.
I
Feel it.
I believe it.
I believe it.
I express it.
I express it.
I accept it.
I accept it.
Just the way that it is.
Just the way that it is.
And just the way that it is not.
And
just the way that it is not.
Thank you, life.
Thank you, life.
Woo! Thank you, everyone. Have a blessed, beautiful week. Happy Pride Month. We love you. We thank God for you.
Yeah, that was fun. What a ride today's been. It's been what a good time was had by all, I think. And thank you so much, Reverend Elizabeth. What a wonderful, wonderful talk today.
Beautiful.
I'm really excited to meet up with everybody on Zoom. And I'll put that in the comments right now as Travis can sing us out.
All right.
All right.
I'm going to leave you with this one, beloveds. Something wonderful is happening to me right here, right now. Something wonderful Something wonderful is happening to me right here, right now. Can you feel it? I can feel it in my body. I can feel it in my soul. I can feel it in my heart, and it won't let go. Something wonderful is happening to me right here, right now. Something wonderful